Hello, this is Skylit Lake reading Oiroke no Jutsu by Monric Account. One Shot Series. Naruto believed himself to be as dumb as people thought he was, just not as much. He was aware of the many things he couldn't do, at least not right now. Not as everyone says it is supposed to be done. The list was long and got around to pretty much anything and everything. At the academy, he was bad at words, be that reading or writing, or saying or remembering. He was also very bad with numbers and history and the technical stuff of pretty much anything. At the academy, he was very much as dumb as everyone says he is, and that's why he simply does not stay there most of the time, even if he begged Sarutojiji to go for years. Alone in his apartment, it was a lot like at the academy. He never knew exactly how to keep himself or his space clean, what to pay attention to, how to keep track of his food, how much was on the fridge and the cabinets, and when it spoiled. That's why he liked ramen so much, after all. He also wasn't always sure how to brush his hair, so he kept it very short and let it do its own thing. And while trying to talk to other kids, well, a lot of the time, it was better just to not do it. The adults never liked Naruto, but it was worse when he was trying to make friends. Parents especially hate Naruto. Sometimes at the academy, he would talk with other kids. Well, there was a time when he was much younger than the rest, and then he was there for too long by the time everyone in class was his age. But when he tried, he always felt like something or other was wrong. He thinks it's his stupidness and dumbness when they look at him like he should know whatever they were talking about. Other times, it was a sad look that he also put down to him being too dumb to know whatever that look was about. So, he was pretty dumb about a lot of things. But here's the thing. He wasn't dumb about stealth or running. Not at all. He considered himself pretty smart about that stuff. He couldn't figure out people very quickly, but he knew what got the most reaction, how to attract attention to himself or hide away. See, Naruto had a system, a very good and clever one, if anybody bothered to ask Naruto. Naruto was loud. Very much so, as everyone has told him since forever, and nobody thought he could be anything but loud, so he leaned heavily into it, with his orange tracksuit and carefree posture. Then, when no one was looking because he was being quiet, he could do all sorts of wild things. His favorite was climbing to the top of the Hokage mountain and painting all the faces on there. It works pretty well, especially when he was angry. People, for some reason, always think that an angry Naruto would be even louder and more destructive and violent. Naruto knew that the only thing he was allowed to be on that list was loud. But not all the time, especially not about feelings. Naruto, when he was feeling too much, was very much quiet, light on his feet, and someone people just didn't pay attention to, which made climbing and painting even easier. But another trick he has, that people simply did not notice much, was walking around where he shouldn't be. After he started to use his orange tracksuit and people learned to expect that, when he was doing something he shouldn't, not wearing it made it very easy to blend in. He liked to look at the older kids' training grounds, walk around the edges of Konoha, or, if he was feeling more daring, by the clan's land. He learned He learned very early on which areas to avoid. Nowhere near the Hyuga or the Nara forests. The Inuzuka could always smell him out, and when the Uchihas were around, it was not a good place to be either. And he never built up the courage or will to try after. But the Akumichi would sometimes give him food before urging him out, if they would catch him. And Sarutobi-ji-san never minded if he walked down the corridors of the Hokage building, if he avoided playing any pranks, which made the place very boring to be in anyway. And the people there were not as careless to let him hear things he shouldn't, like at the training grounds. At the end of the day, while Naruto could and was very good at not being seen, listened, or caught until after he did something or found a way in to a place he shouldn't be, he was a prankster at heart, and never being caught was boring and wasn't fun at all. What's the point of knowing all those cool kicks and punches that he was never able to pull off because he always got himself caught in wanting to try it all at once when at the academy, if people wouldn't notice him or get mad at him anyway? Not the fun mad that prank made people be, just the angry mad. And he knew very well about doing long and quieter pranks not being as satisfying. He did it all the time. See, another thing Naruto was very good at was something of his own creation, the Oiroke no Jutsu. Naruto created it for a bunch of reasons, see? Flashing lights and smoke bombs were fun, but weren't working long term, and he needed something more impactful and flashier. Glitter was not the answer either, and was more expensive to buy, and he couldn't make it at home like the other two. So he thought hard and looked around for what could be a good solution. He tried to throw food, but that only made people go from fun mad to angry mad very fast. And it gets worse when he couldn't buy stuff from the market like before, and that was already quite hard. So he tried to escaping to busy places, markets, civilian house areas, places where they could have harder time navigating, while Naruto, being small and fast, could blend in or hide away. And then on one of those days, he ended up going all the way to the red light district, close to where he himself lived. It was the best reaction that he'd gotten by far. His chasers got distracted and flustered very fast, and from there it was super easy to get away. The problem was it was close to his house, like very close, and Naruto learned long ago that bringing angry people too close to where he was living was a big no-no. He couldn't always lure people all the way to the red light district to get away. And it wouldn't be fair to all the ladies there, who always were the nicest that Naruto knew of out of everyone except maybe Hokage Gigi. And that's where Naruto was also very clever, because he now knew what would work and made it work, all by himself. He created the Oiroke no Jutsu and made it do exactly what he wanted. Because see, Oiroke was nothing like the flimsy henges. Henges was super hard to do, smelled just the same as the person, and are the bane of Naruto's existence. But Oiroke was nothing like making an illusion. No, Oiroke Naruto was as much Naruto as Naruto himself. The body was his as well, and he could feel the difference every time he transformed. When he was training, he walked around the red light district a lot, as discreetly as he could make himself be. And the nice ladies helped when they had the time, helping him to find just the right body shape and posing. It was their idea to use cloud-like smoke, something about teasing, something about helping him run away afterward. It wasn't needed, but it did add to the fun. He first showed his results to Sarutobi-ji-san to see if it worked, and it did, like a charm. So he has been using it since and looking for more inspiration in the magazines for the 3 minutes that the owner of the little stand didn't notice him there. But the best part about Oiroke no Jutsu is that it was a lot more than just Cloud and sexy older female Naruto. It was a full body transformation. He could be anyone and go anywhere, except close to the Hyuga, Inuzuka, or the Nara forest. They always knew that Naruto was Naruto anyway. But what Naruto liked to do the most was just to be a girl, sometimes. Not the older all hourglass shape and sexiness, but himself, but a girl. The difference was very minimal, maybe a little bit shorter or slim, hair a little softer, and he always feels more lightweight and balanced. But outside, not much to see, especially when you were Naruto. People didn't look at Naruto. So, Naruto was a prankster with a lot of free time and a brand new jutsu, and the only one that he could do while everyone kept telling him how dumb he was and how he couldn't do any jutsu. So he holds himself in the jutsu for as long as he was able to. It was easy. While experimenting, he did buy and steal some girls' clothes to try out when he was being quiet and stealthy. He made some friends that way. If he changed his hair, let it down longer, a little bit like the twin tails of the sexy version. But if he wore his Naruto clothes and talked and acted in his Naruto way, nobody noticed that Naruto changed body parts. He didn't grow tits like some other girls in his class. The red light district ladies, the few that he showed the whole jutsu, were teaching him how to behave and do girl things like paint nails and make up and dress up and dance. Told him it was normal and not something he got wrong on the jutsu, just that some girls took long to turn into little ladies. Then it was fine for Naruto because he didn't have to worry about hiding anything. So Naruto holds the jutsu and holds and holds, and he spends a whole year holding the jutsu, and by the second time he couldn't graduate and had the summer to wait to start all over again, he let it go. It was weird, because after a year of holding the jutsu as a girl, when he turned back and immediately slept, he grew overnight and felt extremely unbalanced and just wrong for a while. The worst part was probably learning how to use the bathroom properly again, and not falling over every other roof while running. He got caught on his other louder pranks a lot more that summer than he had in years. It was embarrassing. And the next year, Naruto stole a scroll, learned the super cool shadow clone thing, discovered about the monster sealed inside him, and gained his Hitayate, and ate Ichiraku's ramen with Iruku-sensei, and forgot all about his jutsu for a while, focused on the cool new one. Because now Naruto was graduated, it didn't matter if he couldn't do a henge or a clone for shit, because he had the shadow clone and Oiroke no Jutsu. Not that that one ever got him nowhere close to graduation. And it didn't matter if he still didn't get the chakra stuff or got overwhelmed with all the possibilities while fighting, because now he could just make a bunch of himself and all do different things anyway. His teacher was an ass and never explained shit, but Naruto was way better at figuring things out by himself anyway, so that was fine. Sakura and Sasuke were a little harder, partly because Naruto wanted to be their friend, and after watching a lot of training from older teams, he saw teams were all friends, or at least dealt well with each other, and that just didn't seem to happen with Team 7. And then, that also didn't matter because Kakashi was training Sasuke, and this weird pervy guy called Jiraiya was training Naruto, and Sakura was left to train by herself, he thinks. Nobody talked anything about that, and if there was some other older person training Sakura in super secret things like Sasuke and Naruto, nobody was telling him. And then more things happened, and Saruto Jiji died, and Naruto travelled with Jiraiya to find his old but way more nice-looking lady and bring her back to the village, and learned a third really cool jutsu, and, well, he still wasn't friends with his team, but he had a friend now that was just like him, and that was pretty much all he has been asking for a long time, and a person that will train him and look at him and not be mad all the time. And for that, he had two, even though he left one behind to go with Jiraiya. The problem with all this was, now that Naruto and Jiraiya weren't training for the exam or after some lady, Naruto was learning a whole lot of nothing. Nothing as cool, at least. He was getting better at reading now that he had to read Erosenen's porn books and help him find mistakes. Naruto thinks very lowly of his books, mind you. Naruto didn't think much about literature and had no idea and what it would consider a good book, like Sakura-chan probably could. But Kakashi liked his books, and Naruto doubts a lot of things that Kakashi has to do with. And he doesn't think the Red Light District ladies liked much of Jiraiya's books as well, and he trusts them a lot more. Between running around and trying to find Jiraiya, when he decided to just take Naruto's hard-earned money from Gama-chan and drink around or go to onsens, and doing a lot of walking in the middle of nowhere inside fire, going from city to city, but never staying for more than 2 days or so, Naruto started to feel antsy. So when Gaara starts to send letters, he answers. Hey guys, I hope you enjoy this video. This is a brand new series. As a new Naruto series, the first Naruto series that this is on this channel. Well, technically it's a one-shot series since this is a one-shot, and the next part in the series is a couple of chapters, which it will be. I'm still deciding if I should make it one entire video, but that's gonna be like hours and hours, and I don't feel like doing that. So I'm probably gonna be doing like individual episodes, probably 2 to 1 split because it's 5 chapters. Either way, how do you like gender fluid Naruto? Which I feel like it makes a lot of sense because, come on, the kitsune's got to have some effect on Naruto's mental state, because if you think about it, it's a chakra entity that's been sealed into him. Mind you, I think it's the yin half, which I'm pretty sure is the yang. I think it's the yang half, which I think is the body, so it probably had a more effect on the body or the physical chakra, which, sure, but like, again, things need to be balanced, so there's got to be a balance between the physical and mental chakra, or the yin and yang, and either way, there's got to be some effect, and kitsune's like, I remember reading this in another fic, I forgot which one, I think I might find it later and do it later, but like, it's mentioned how kitsunes were trickster spirits and shapeshifters, so that would explain how Oiroke no Jutsu was conceived, because it's a trickster spirit that comes, like, it's a very innate part of him. And also, all the other Jinchurikis have like some special ability related to their Jinchuriki, so why not shapeshifting? Why not trickster? Maybe he got that extra trickster-like qualities from the fox, which his parents didn't have it. I mean, of course, he did it for attention, but yeah, maybe that's what he did. It tricked the spirit, maybe in a more devious mind, maybe more political, because Talk no Jutsu, the most powerful jutsu known in Naruto. Aside from Oiroke no Jutsu, which can apparently distract and defeat a god. Which I remember seeing that scene from Kaguya's fight, which is funny. Also, what are your opinions on Kaguya and that fight in general? Because I am planning to do Chiyosaru. I haven't got the permission yet, but Yurizi already is doing it, so he probably might finish it and get to the end faster than me. Obviously, because he's doing an AI voice, and it's going to be much easier to do. But yeah, I mean, I'm depending if I do get permission, and I'm not sure how Yurizi does it because I haven't ficked a fanfic from that he's done, and gotten a response back. I haven't seen a response back in relation to him. So if I do it close by, it's gonna be maybe troublesome. Either way, that's still on the back burner because I'm planning to do Deku Sensei once my Super Science goes to chapter 80 and have that break. Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye.